There are moments in your life when everything feels heavier than it should. Not because something is wrong, not because you made a mistake, but because you are in a season that is asking more from you than you expected. And that's the part that no one really prepares you for, because you thought that once you started doing the right things, things would begin to flow. You thought that once you aligned yourself, things would become clearer, easier, lighter. But instead, you found yourself here, in a place where things still feel uncertain, in a place where things still feel slow, in a place where nothing is fully clear, and everything requires more effort than you imagined. And that creates a question inside you, a quiet question that grows over time. Why does it still feel like this? If I'm doing the right thing, why is it still so hard? Why does it feel like I'm not moving forward? And those questions don't just stay in your mind. They start shaping how you feel. They start influencing how you see your situation. They start affecting your confidence. And slowly, without you even noticing, they begin to touch your faith. Because when you don't see progress, your mind looks for explanations, and the easiest explanation is doubt. Maybe you're not on the right path. Maybe you misunderstood something. Maybe this isn't working. Maybe you should stop. And that is the moment where everything is decided, not outside of you, but inside you. Because that moment is not a failure. It is not a mistake. It is a test, a real one. Not the kind you expect, not the kind you can prepare for, but the kind that reveals who you are becoming. Because faith is not tested in comfort. Faith is tested in uncertainty, in the moments where you don't have answers, in the moments where things don't make sense, in the moments where stopping feels easier than continuing. That is where your faith becomes real. Because it's easy to believe when everything is working. It's easy to trust when everything is clear. It's easy to stay confident when results are visible. But what about when they're not? What about when you don't see anything changing yet? What about when it feels like your effort is not being rewarded? What about when it feels like nothing is responding? Can you still stay? Can you still trust? Can you still move forward, even when you don't feel certain? Because that is the test. And right now, you are in it, not by accident, not randomly, but intentionally. Because God is not testing you to see you fail. He is testing you to build you, to shape something inside you that you cannot build in comfort. Because comfort does not challenge you. Comfort does not stretch you. Comfort does not reveal your limits, but pressure does. Pressure shows you what you rely on. It shows you what you believe in. It shows you how you respond when things are not easy. And that response is what determines your growth. Because the truth is, you don't grow when everything is working. You grow when you are challenged, when you are stretched, when you are placed in situations that require more from you than you thought you had. And that's exactly what is happening right now. You are being stretched, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And that stretch feels uncomfortable because it forces you to go beyond what is familiar, beyond what is easy, beyond what feels safe. But that is where growth happens, and that is where transformation begins. Because what you are becoming requires more than what you were before. It requires more stability, more discipline, more trust, more resilience. And those things are not built in easy moments. They are built here, in the moments where you have to choose, not once, but again and again, to keep going, to keep trusting, to stay faithful, even when it's hard, even when it doesn't make sense, even when part of you wants to stop. And that is what makes this moment so powerful, because this is not just about what is happening around you. This is about who you are becoming within you. Because the version of you that is being built right now is the version that will handle what is coming next. And what is coming next requires strength. It requires stability. It requires a kind of faith that is not shaken by circumstances. Because if your faith depends on results, it will disappear when results are slow. If your faith depends on clarity, it will disappear when things are uncertain. But if your faith is built here, in this moment, it becomes something unshakable, something real, something that stays. And that is what God is building in you. Not temporary confidence, not surface level belief, but deep, grounded, unshakable faith. The kind that allows you to move forward, even when you don't see everything. The kind that allows you to stay calm, even when things feel unstable. The kind that allows you to keep going, even when it would be easier to stop. And that kind of faith changes everything. Because when you have it, you don't depend on circumstances anymore. You don't depend on immediate results. You don't depend on everything going your way. You move differently. You think differently. You respond differently, because you are not being controlled by what you see. You are being guided by what you believe. And that is where your power is. So don't walk away from this moment. Don't give up here. Don't let this test convince you to stop. Because this is not where you lose. This is where you grow. This is where you become stronger. This is where everything begins to shift inside you. And when that shift is complete, everything outside of you will follow. So stay faithful, stay grounded, stay in the process. Even when it's hard, even when it doesn't make sense, even when you feel like stopping. Because this moment is not here to break you. It is here to build you. And what it is building will carry you forward. So let this be your prayer. God, even when I feel tired, help me stay faithful. Even when I feel uncertain, help me keep trusting. Even when things don't make sense, help me keep moving forward. Because I know this moment is not against me. It is preparing me. And I will not give up. If you feel this, comment, "I will stay faithful," and subscribe for daily reflections.